The single biggest reason I maintain Gary V is to be a doer.
Right.
I mean, to me, my personal brand is about top of the funnel awareness, but way more importantly, I'm a practitioner. I post on Instagram. Like, I reply to DMs.
Get it, you got it.
I have to, listen, you have to know what you're doing.
What's some advice you'd give to somebody that just doesn't know what they want to do right now?
Just speak your truth, right? Speak your truth, like including that you have depression, or that you don't know what you're doing, or that you're really good at cutting hair, or that you love the Smurfs. I think the truth is the biggest win, right? And I think that for me, that is really played out in our society today. There's no more hiding. The internet is all encompassing, and nobody's gonna be able to front. Like, if you're not motivated and optimistic, motivational content's not gonna work for you. You know, if you aren't thoughtful and smart about, you know, sports, you're not gonna win. You can only win on two things: the thing that you understand the best, or the thing that you're most passionate or authentic about. Those are the only two winning formulas. I think too many people wanna fake it till they make it, or project someone they're not, which is why 99% of people are losing.
Plan. It sounds so stupid. I mean, sometimes giving advice is embarrassing because it's so obvious, but I could sit here and literally give you the details of 11 different famous studies that talk all about the fact that people that take the time to write out a plan and write down 2 or 3 things that they're going to focus on, that they actually have between 30 and, depending upon the study, 60%, they're more effective at getting it done. Right. And one of the reasons why this is more important than ever is because you work in such a distracted work environment.
Right.
So if you're going to do something, so let's just give everybody the assignment. What are 2 things that you're going to do this year to raise your leadership game? What are you going to do to be a contender? And it could be that you're going to adopt a certain kind of mindset. It could be that they're going to stop taking notes in meetings. It could be that you're going to volunteer for certain assignments. It could be that you're going to take a course that ramps up certain skills that you know are a deficiency. You need to post that somewhere in your work environment so that visually you are reminded, because you'll forget. And if you were to do just that, pick 2 things that are going to amp up your leadership game and post some sort of visual cue, you will be more likely to change, and you'll be more likely to be more effective.
I remember being in Soho, New York, and I walked into one of the stores and I bought a coat, and I was leaving on an airplane for home later that day, and I asked the person who was taking care of me, I said, is it possible, and that's a great respectful way to ask for something, is it possible to get this coat hemmed and adjusted a little bit for me? And I said, the thing is that I'm leaving later today. And he looked at me, and I've never forgotten it, because we all have these people in our lives who say one thing or show up in a certain way, and they stay with us for the rest of our lives. And he said to me these words. He said, I'd love to do that for you. I'd love to do that for you. And again, the whole brain tattoo I'm trying to deconstruct here is make your I can larger than your IQ. You know, I remember being in Prague, and I asked someone on the other, again, I spent a lot of time in hotels, and I said, is it possible to do this? And here was the reply on the other end of the phone. I think it was someone from the front desk, or maybe it was room service. And I try to eat as clean as possible. So probably it was a request, could I have olive oil and fresh lemon or lemon as the salad dressing? And here's the reply. Just to really lovingly and respectfully and hopefully fluently and elegantly bring this leadership insight home to you. I said, is this possible? And his reply was, anything is possible. So it's really easy to get seduced and stuck into a mindset of can't. You know, someone says, let's start a new business. Someone says, here's a great poetic project that if we release it to the world will help us own our marketplace. And it sounds very obvious again, but ask yourself this, is your default reply, a symptom of a mindset of can't, or do you have a mentality of possibility? When someone says, here, read this book, do you shift into can't or can? When someone says, hey, you know what? I'm amped to run a marathon. Do you go, I can't? Is that your default setting in your neurobiological hardwiring? Or do you go, absolutely, or I'd love to do this? You know, it's really, really important, and that is one of the core distinctions of leadership, isn't it?
Often we teach, preach, say what we most need to learn. What was it about trust that you needed to learn for yourself?
I grew up thinking that a woman was my mother who was not. I grew up thinking that there was something wrong with me because of God only knows why. My life was a lie.
Well, actually, you explained why so well. In reading about your grandmother, I think she was related to my grandmother. In all the ways that you make children feel inadequate.
Inadequate, bad. I was bad.
Yeah.
I was bad.
Yeah.
I had the devil in me.
Yeah.
I had the devil in me, and she was gonna beat it out of me.
Because she was a woman who, because of the times in which she was raised and the suppression and oppression, had learned that it was best to go through the world keeping quiet.
Keep quiet, be who they want you to be. Had I knuckled down, had I really given in to the restrictions and limitations placed on me, I wouldn't be who I am today. It was my talking that saved me. Here was the classic, shut up, you talk too much. Shut up. Why you talk so much? You've always got something to say. And today people pay me well to hear me speak.
Yeah.
If I had shut up as a child, that may not have ever happened.
So you learned that you needed to learn to trust yourself.
Visualization is a gift to your heart and your soul. It's a gift. Because if the idea is the seed, visualization is the fertilizer. It's the fertilizer, because when your thoughts are connected with an emotion, see, you would visualize yourself winning, and you would feel all the emotion that came with that. And all you're doing now is you're not chasing a foreign emotion. You know the feeling, and now you're just doing what's necessary to get back to that feeling in real time.
Exactly.
And so what a good friend of mine, Vishen, who the CEO of Mind Valley, who you know, I did a visualization with him. We were in Bali, and he said to me afterwards, I never get emotional. I cried.
He doesn't get emotional.
Right.
He's like
Right.
super, yeah.
Well, he was like, I cried. I got emotional. He goes, I figured it out. It's visualization. A good visualization brings in emotion. He was like, that's how you do it. And so I love doing visualizations because, and it's real important in the visualization, you can't see it over there. You have to see it right here.
To feel it.
You got to feel it right here. Like I am. It's all I am. I am. I am in my dream home. I am in my dream relationship. And then unpack what that looks like. But most importantly, unpack what it feels like. And when you have that emotion in this moment, all of a sudden you stir up something that I don't think will ever go back to sleep. It'll go, okay, let's go get that. And what it really does is it sets up a state of cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance is when you see something in your mind and you see yourself in a way that your behaviors are not currently leading to. And so your mind becomes disrupted and it goes, okay, can we get there?
Right, because I'm not there right now.
I'm not there right now, and that's not comfortable. Your mind wants to literally be congruent. What it thinks is what you're doing. What it thinks is what you're doing. And so when you set up a constant, and abundant thinkers like you and I, we do it unconsciously. We're constantly keeping ourselves in a state of cognitive dissonance, meaning, okay, what else? And I'm seeing Lisa over there and I'm going, okay, let me go. While being grateful for my now.
Yeah.
It's not in that I'm going to be whole and complete when I get over there. I'm whole and complete now. I just know I'm supposed to be over there. So let me do what's necessary to get over there. And let me evict any behaviors or characteristics that are stopping me, and let me adopt any new ones that I need.
A lot of people don't ask themselves why.
Yeah.
Do I want more cars, more jets, and stuff like that? No, I don't. Speaking of Mr. Cuban, I go to Dallas one day, and I'm like, man, Mark, I never been to your office, man. Tell me about it. It's the Mavs, all kind of things. It's huge, probably, right? And he's like, all right, I'll meet you. And then he comes to the hotel in his pajamas, and this is when sidekicks were out, looking at a sidekick, and I said,
Sidekick.
why am I gonna?
Amazing.
I said, I want to go to your office. He said, I haven't been there in 3 years. I was like, what do you mean you haven't been in your office in 3 years? He said, what do I want? More money? He said, I want to chill home with my son, the Jakester. I want to answer my things here. But I'm like, well, why do you publicly give out your email if you don't want more work? He's like, I enjoy sitting at home in my pajamas looking at this stuff. And I realized, he's just like me. Why are you doing things? You have to ask yourself, right? And that is your discipline, right? Why am I going to work every single day? And of course, I understand a lot of people here don't have the luxury like I am afforded now, and you have to go to work. You have to. You have to keep the lights on, and all this kumbaya crap about just do it for love is bullshit. At the end of the day, if you got to keep the lights on, right?
Sure, there's a practical.
But you got to ask yourself why.